going on? SAMOKFIT. Checking in with you guys. You guys are doing well, doing terrific. We are back with another video. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about something I get a lot of questions asked about. Is questions like, hey, I want to compete. Should I compete? Should I not compete? And I thought it was very important. It's very timely because the man behind the camera is doing his first prep. And I just finished competing also, tie that in together and give you some reasons that you want to think about if you're thinking about prepping. Should you prep, should you not prep? And tie that in while we crush some legs. This is my first leg training session back for the show. Not gonna go anything too crazy. I'm saying that now, it might get crazy, you might have to stay tuned for that. But I'm not really on any structured program right now. I'm still fine-tuning some of the movements I want to add to the next muscle, like I mentioned during the previous program. That's what we're doing. About to take, by the way, awesome news coming. I think we might have done something with BPN. We'll see. You gotta stay tuned for that. But anyways, we are taking, of course, a scoop of fly, strawberry kiwi. SAMOKFIT, if you want to save 10% on your discount or your next purchase, whatever the fuck that means. I'm trying to bring the energy on this vlog. I think the last vlog was a recap. I'm just like, So you know what? I've been dry scooping for you guys. No, I'm not dry scooping. Shit. No, do not dry scoop your pre-workout. Shake it. One scoop.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go for 2 for a second there.
2. 600 milligrams of caffeine.
Oh man.
I ain't trying to die down. And it's leg day 2? Oh man, call 911, put him on speed dial. But anyways, I'm gonna sip on this, warm up real quick, then we'll get after the leg session.
Hand on the game, we are not playing the same. No, we not looking to change. Hand on the wheel, they think we lacking the drive. Boy, you should stay in your lane. Foot on the gas, I do not care if I crash, long as I stick to the plan. What is the plan? I cannot lie for none of you, long as I know who I am. I'm in control.
So, I already did a couple of sets on the RDLs, and right before we jump into the video, so Max, like I said, is prepping for his first show, and I just thought it would be nice not to hear from me. I've done, tours up to like 30 shows already. I've been doing this for quite some time. So a lot of you guys might be in this position that you want to compete. I just want you to listen to the reason why he decides he wants to compete.
The reason I want to compete basically is so far I've been lifting for like 4.5-ish years. I've been bodybuilding now for I think like 2 years or so. And I've seen a few people compete. Like I saw the NPC Midwest St. Louis Pro last year and also this year. So I've seen like what people look like on stage. And honestly, with bodybuilding, I already love it. I know I'm gonna love prep. I've already cut before, but I've never gone through the entire process where I'm gonna be actually, prepping, getting stage lean, and just going through the whole deal. And honestly, I've just really been looking forward to like taking on a new challenge with bodybuilding, and also being at the end, see which muscle groups I might need to improve more for my off season. Next time I actually have like a real official off season instead of like calling whatever I'm doing now as like an off season, I'm really excited for it. I think it's gonna be a great challenge, and I'm definitely looking forward to whatever I learned during prep and what I'm gonna be able to apply to my off season.
So, and if I land and he got the remote, made it this far, it's a miracle. Anything less is cynical. Staying true, I can't lie in your interview. Tell the truth while you lie with your interview. And your acting is so hypocritical. In control, nothing more, this is minimal. Can't stop now.
All right, so the point Max is making, which I'm gonna wrap that up at the end for you guys, is one, is trying to compete for the first time just because he wants to challenge himself, right? And I think that's one of the most important part. And I think the question a lot of people typically ask themselves is, am I ready to compete? It's a good question, right? And I think what I typically tell a lot of younger people that are trying to compete is, are you ever ready to compete, really? If you're training 5-6 years from now, you still look in the mirror like, I don't think I'm ready. You have a client coming up, let's say from our RP strength, elite physique coaching when they come in for the first time. Ideally, I won't say I try not to work with first timers, but I do work with a decent amount of first timers, especially after going through the onboarding process, and you ask them the questions, okay, why are we doing this? Because it's important. Just like a normal fat loss phase, when I want to work with a client, your why is important to me, because that tells me how committed you are to the process. So one big point that he made is to challenge himself. And I know Max enough to know, yes, that's one thing that he wants to do. It's a challenging process. You're not trying to get beach body ready, you're trying to get stage ready. Like I'm talking about shredded glutes, and that takes a lot of discipline and challenge to get down to. So great points in terms of the one, asking yourself, do I really want this just to, you know, for shallow reasons, or I want to do it just to really, really, really challenge myself.
I'ma grind till I'm ghost. I thank God how he held me down the most. Can't stop now, gotta grind till I'm ghost. Gotta thank God how he held me down the most.
Okay, so you're still confused, you don't know if you should compete. My suggestion a lot of times for most people is definitely compete on one condition. The condition being, if you want to do it yourself, sure, make sure you do your research. And if you want to hire a coach, make sure you hire the right coach for you. And the reason why you want to do that is because that's going to enhance the experience. In my opinion, yes, I mean, I'm not saying you should be training for 6 months and decide, you know, I want to compete. Have some time under your belt first of training, because you want to build that discipline, meaning you are consistent with your training. You're showing up each day, you understand training programming, then you decide you want to compete. But hire the right coach if you decide you want to compete. And I'll tell you the reason why you should hire the right coach, in case you don't know already, if you want to compete after this next movement.
Got the whole team on my back. I ain't worried about no stats. No time to compete with so-and-so. No time to compete with so-and-so. I ain't got a bread when I'm in my bag. No, no, no. Been through a lot, don't know the half. No, no, no. When I'm on drive, I'ma lose control. Hand on the game, I'ma lose control. It ain't my fault that I'm in control. When I'm on drive, I'ma lose control.
On a mission, on the move, gotta go, no, no. Ain't no time to waste my time, we don't slow down. You can have me in the
The
mix.
reason why you want to hire a right coach, just for anything that you're doing in fat loss, especially when it comes to bodybuilding, is because that's going to determine what you're going to do post that show, post that experience. Hiring a good coach, one, will let you actually enjoy the experience, because you might go into it thinking, yes, I'm super excited, and being under a terrible coach that's just going to go use some copy-paste approach and run you into the ground. Again, don't get me wrong, contest prep is grueling, but there are other ways you can definitely manage that. And if you don't find the right coach, that can definitely ruin the experience and ruin the possible love you could have had for that bodybuilding experience. Overall, what I think in terms of, like, you know, if you should compete or not, I think you should compete, and this is the reason why. Number one, it's gonna be an awesome experience if you have the right coach. It's gonna be an awesome experience because, one, it's either you try it and it gets to like a halfway point and you realize, oh my God, this is extremely hard, or harder than you thought. But at least you scratch that itch, you figure out, okay, this is not something I want to do, it's too hard, and you know, and at least you are in a good shape. Or you actually went through the whole process and you actually got in really, really good shape, and you see what's underneath the fat, and that can actually propel you to get motivated, to get to the point like, you know what, wow, I cannot wait to get into the gym. I cannot wait to make this improvement so I can roll that, and cannot wait to see what I look like in 2 years of like actually improving on my physique. Granted, you take in the right amount of time post-contest prep, you're not competing every 6 months, right? So overall, in my opinion, you should compete. If you're a newbie, give yourself some time to at least build the discipline of showing up to the gym all the time, you know, logging your food, make sure your nutrition is on point. Then you decide, okay, let me step to the next level and then compete. And if you've been doing it for a while, scratch the itch, do it. Stop postponing it, because one, as you get older, you never get less busier. You always find an excuse for not to do it. Just do it for the experience of it. At least you know you do it, and at least you know you love it. Or there's a possibility you might love it, but if you don't do it, you would never know.
Then you actually qualify as a bodybuilder too.
And you actually qualify as a bodybuilder, not be one of those guys that show up at the gym like, oh yeah, you know what, I mean, meaning to compete, 6 years later, you still meaning to compete, you haven't done it. So less talking, more action. And now I'm about to check over my dude. I'm about to look out, see how he's looking, some posing real quick, and that's gonna be the end of the video.
Never switch on your chick, that's on bitch code. Catch a trick, fry him up in that Crisco. Fuck the grid, I'ma dip to a flip phone. On the splits, every lick is a shitload. Throw a fit, blow a kiss, I'm on bitch mode. Got some ice on my nips, on my tits cold. Calling all the pretty girls in your zip code. I need all my skinny bitches and my big hoes. Boy, I'm a line.
Thing that is realizing about posing now is it's a workout.
Yeah, I'm sweating, dude.
Another pointer that I would give you, if you are interested in bodybuilding, is not just only invest in a coach, invest in an opposing coach. Because if you don't invest in an opposing coach, it's almost like saying, hey, I'm gonna study so hard for this exam, and it's time for me to take the test, I'm just not gonna show up. Because I saw a lot of people with great physiques, especially in this last competition, and when it comes to posing, if only they knew how to pose, that can actually enhance how they look. So yes, that is Max for you, and hopefully that's definitely very helpful if you are considering competing or something that you've been thinking about. Hopefully this video has helped you, clarify some of that, confusion, or solidify some of that decisions that you are trying to make. This is SAMOKFIT from SAMOKFIT. Checking out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Bad bitches, every city in my tribe. Look behind. Booty dominate.